Nerd talk.
Hey, I'm Derek.
I'm Justin. I felt awkward. I didn't know how to start. I never do.
I know, that's why I was giving you the chance.
I know, I was on the spot and I ruined it. Well, anyways, welcome.
This is Nerd Talk.
This is Nerd Talk.
And today we have
a lot of stuff to talk about.
We do. We have a lot to bring you.
Yes.
We'll start it off with...
Let's get right to it.
Yeah, let's get right in there. Preacher. We've opened up a We've opened up a Preacher the last couple episodes. Why not do it again?
That's true. They've officially confirmed Dominic Cooper as Jesse in Preacher. Seth Rogen confirmed it on the tweeter.
Yep, and Dominic Cooper has a great look for Jesse Custer.
Yeah.
I think he'll be really cool. Be awesome to add him to the cast list.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's good they finally...
He's definitely the biggest name that's in the show so far.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
There's still a couple others that they still need to cast and get out there. But
yeah, I'm excited. Obviously, comic books on TV are really big right now.
And not all of them work out. Some of them are amazing, but...
Some are okay.
Yeah, like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, I mean, it's got... People keep telling me it's good, but I haven't gone back to it. I just can't bring myself... And honestly, Agent Carter, I haven't given a shot yet.
I haven't either.
But now that Daredevil is so awesome, it's just going to set up a whole other thing. Like, it's going to be crazy.
Yeah, Daredevil's been on Netflix for about a week now.
Yeah.
So in case you haven't gotten around to watching, I don't know where you've been.
Yeah, what the fuck is your problem? Because it's awesome.
It's really good. I was more than surprised. I figured... I thought it was going to be good.
Yeah.
But
that good?
But that good. Like, I watched the entire series in 2 days.
I watched it in like 5 or 6 days.
The acting's fantastic.
Charlie Cox is an awesome Daredevil.
Yeah, Charlie Cox is a way better Daredevil than Ben Affleck.
Yeah, and
he's not even my favorite part of the show.
Is it Vincent D'Onofrio?
Yeah, Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin.
Is awesome.
Oh, man.
Yeah. The supporting cast, Eldon Henson as Foggy, is one of my favorite parts.
Mine too.
Foggy's awesome.
Yeah. Like, they did a great job casting the show. Everyone's good in it.
Yeah, and it gets me more excited for all the next Marvel Netflix series, which they kind of set up Iron Fist a lot in this show.
Yeah.
But we've actually seen, which we've seen set photos that show Jessica Jones and Luke Cage together. So we've seen them. Mike Coulter as Luke Cage and Kristen Ritter as Jessica Jones.
David Tennant as Purple Man was
in
the photo.
He did not have purple skin, but he had a purple suit, which just made me think of the Joker. But that's okay.
Well, Marvel's been going with kind of like...
The realistic...
Yeah.
More realistic tone.
You can't really say realistic.
Well, for Daredevil, I guess they did.
Yeah.
For the most part, you know.
But for those kind of things, they did.
Yeah. But, you know, fingers crossed.
It makes me still wonder... Sorry.
No, I was just going to say...
Interrupted.
I was just going to say fingers crossed that they'll be as good as Daredevil will be.
Yeah. Like, Jessica Jones is the only one I'm kind of worried about.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time... But the only reason I'm worried about that is just because of who they cast as Jessica Jones.
Yeah, I'm not convinced yet.
I'm not convinced. She doesn't really have the look that I feel like Jessica Jones should have.
Yeah.
But with David Tennant as the villain, I feel like that'll be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder how they're going to do that, like, with Purple Man's abilities, because he can, like, tell people what to do and they do it.
Well, I mean, that's could be very intriguing to see on camera then, just as from a business perspective or depending on what the direction they take. What is it kind of exciting, though, now that Daredevil is as awesome as it is, it kind of doesn't surprise me, but there is a possibility that Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Iron Fist, and Luke Cage could appear in Avengers Infinity War Part 2.
Yeah.
Which could also end up setting up their own films.
Exactly. Because the shows are more of like just the origin story kind of thing, just to get that out of the way.
That's
like,
a good way to do it.
Daredevil, the show's like his first month as being a hero.
Right.
If that, it might be less time than that.
Yeah. Or it could be more time. Who knows with TV.
It kind of felt like a month to me.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a good, which is kind of crazy.
Because he doesn't even become Daredevil until the very end. That's the big reveal. And really that was my main complaint of the show was I didn't care for his costume.
No, there's like things about the costume I like and things I don't. I think the parts of the mask bug me.
Yeah.
And that's honestly
that was my biggest complaint too. And overall, excellent show. Watch it.
Yeah, I completely agree. How about we talk some Marvel stuff?
Oh, I mean, we already have been.
It's not real. Actually, you know what? Yeah, you're right. We have. Let's talk movies.
Okay, movies.
Captain Marvel. Supposedly, Marvel is courting Angelina Jolie.
Yeah, I don't like that.
And
it's just a rumor.
It's just a rumor.
So there's no confirmation or anything, but
it's very uninspired.
It does. Like, I feel like Marvel has made so much better decisions with who they've had direct their movies. And I feel like Angelina Jolie would be a big mistake.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of extra things that she brings to it, which maybe that's what they want. Maybe they want the press for it. Like maybe they want the extra added attention of having, hey, we got Angelina Jolie to do a Marvel movie. There's going to be a lot of press for
And there's always Oscar buzz surrounding Angelina Jolie's movies.
Yeah,
so maybe they're trying to look for something like that as well.
Right, which even but then there's always buzz and then nothing ever happens, like with Unbroken.
Exactly, but Winter Soldier had buzz with the Russo brothers, but nothing came of it.
But yeah, it's just not very inspired in my opinion. I think if they're gonna get a female director, I don't mind that they're gonna go big. Like, but if you're gonna go big, I mean, I don't know, go big. Or just I don't know. Angelina Jolie just seems very.
Yeah, there's other big female directors out there that they could get.
Yeah, somebody who's maybe more.
Catherine Bigelow's on the top of everyone's list.
Yeah, I think I would have liked her better for Wonder Woman though.
Yeah.
But they've had their own share of director issues.
Like I've been telling you, I want Lake Bell.
Yeah.
I think she'd be an awesome choice for Captain Marvel.
She'd be cool. On the flip side of DC and female directors, Michelle MacLaren, who is like known for doing episodes of like Breaking Bad and Game of Thrones, dropped out of Wonder Woman over creative differences.
But they brought in the who they bring in? What's her name?
Patty Jenkins.
Yeah.
Who she did Monster with
Charlize Theron. Yeah.
Which a young Charlize Theron would have been a good Captain Marvel.
That's very true.
But sorry, we're on Wonder Woman.
And it's good that they have a strong female director for Wonder Woman.
Yeah,
I think that'll be good.
Yeah, Patty Jenkins was actually attached to Thor for a long time and then left for creative differences also.
Yeah.
Michelle MacLaren apparently wanted to do a very much more like epic Braveheart-esque origin story for Wonder Woman and shot test footage, but DC didn't like it.
I think that sounds cool.
Yeah, it sounds kind of cool. So I guess they disagreed on the scope of the film or something, and she decided my interpretation is that maybe she just wasn't ready for it, so she stepped out, which is fine. No big deal.
Yeah.
It's probably good to have that feeling as opposed to making the movie and then it turning out bad.
That's true.
Because that'd be a lot of pressure on a movie like that, and then a lot of people, you're not just studios that you want to impress, but with fans and stuff.
Yeah.
So, but Patty Jenkins could be good.
But speaking of DC, we have a lot more stuff coming up with Suicide Squad.
Yeah, crazy. There's just we always had something new, and now
like we told you last episode, we're going to keep talking about Suicide Squad until it's finally here.
And and actually, this has been really intriguing because they released a cast photo, but there were added people in there. Adam Beach, Ike Barinholtz, and Jim Parrick were there, but nobody really knew who they were.
And Suicide Squad, as you know, like it seems like every week they keep throwing new people into this movie. Like, this is a packed movie.
Yeah, it is.
Like, I figured not all these people were going to have big parts. Some are going to be, you see them here and that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
But apparently we have...
The only one we're fairly sure is doing is that apparently Ike Barinholtz is playing Hugo Strange.
Yeah. Which is a cool additive. I'm assuming it's... Like, my guess is maybe it's another guy who's just in Arkham with the Joker and everyone like that, because he's a big Batman villain.
Right. But it's intriguing. He's a much more comedic actor. He was in Neighbors and he's in the Mindy Project, but it's kind of a random, but I mean, the possibility of having Hugo Strange is kind of neat. It's different.
Yeah. But then, like you said, Adam Beach, there's we've heard two different things about who he's playing. He could be playing this character Slipknot.
Who's known for ropes.
Known for ropes, yeah. Nothing cool about that. Right. And the other one was Raven.
Yeah,
who say the name.
He apparently worked for the Jihad.
Yeah, he's like a terrorist.
Yeah.
And neither of them sound interesting at all.
No, I like Adam Beach, but...
Yeah, apparently both of those characters were members of the Suicide Squad at one point.
Yeah. And then Jim Parrick, who you may know from True Blood, at first they said he was replacing Joe Manganiello as Deathstroke because they wanted to go a little younger, which I don't think he's noticeably that younger.
No.
But whatever. But then we were seeing that maybe he wasn't, like his girlfriend or something said he wasn't actually playing Deathstroke, but then he said something that insinuated that he was, but...
So it's still all just jumbled rumors.
Yeah, so he could also be playing a character named Johnny Frost, who is a henchman for the Joker.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, fine, whatever.
That'd be cool. Maybe that's how Joker gets out of Arkham.
Yeah, it's cool to see more stuff like that, but it's just kind of, there's storyboard cast in there, and...
Yeah, they just keep adding stuff to it.
Yeah. There's also a rumor that... DC really wants the Red Hood involved in the DC universe in some way, and that Jason Todd's death may even be some sort of subplot in the Suicide Squad, like maybe he's already dead, and it causes a rift between Harley Quinn and the Joker. This is just a rumor, obviously.
Yeah.
But that's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Although, one of the flaws with Batman being an established superhero in this world that we're getting is that means there's a lot of history that we're not getting to see on screen.
Yeah, we're just having to. We don't know how they're going to do it, but it seems
Right.
like we're just going to be having to assume.
Right, and the death of Jason Todd would be huge on screen. I feel.
Yeah,
like.
I feel like
It'd be
I don't
really
know
cool.
why they wouldn't be showing something like
Right,
that.
so why have it? I mean, unless there's like a interesting use of flashbacks in this or solo Batman movie or something.
Yeah,
It's kind of disappointing that it's not something we would get to see on camera. But
I agree.
But it's still an interesting possibility. Continuing our DC rumors,
Yeah, I was getting ready to ask, what else do we have with DC?
James Wan is being sought to direct Aquaman. You may know
From the Fast and Furious.
Fast and Furious. The last Fast and Furious movie, which was pretty awesome. The action was
I
great.
said he did 6 and 7, correct?
He just said,
Just 7?
yeah, he just stepped in and it was really fun.
Oh yeah, it was a great movie.
And the action was done really well.
He did an awesome job. I could see him definitely doing a superhero movie.
Yeah, Aquaman, I would not have expected, but James Wan, I was hesitant about James Wan doing Furious 7, and it turned out really fun, so
Yeah, so
doing Aquaman.
Yeah, I could see him doing Aquaman.
Yeah.
Like especially with like who they have playing Aquaman and stuff. Like he can make that a fun action-packed movie.
Yeah, which is going to be good for that character, to get him into the world of people who don't care for Aquaman.
Yeah, maybe people will start liking Aquaman.
Exactly.
So continuing on with DC news, yeah, Phil Lord and Chris Miller.
Huge right now.
Yeah, they did.
21 Jump Street movies.
Yeah.
And the Lego movie.
So yeah, so they're very big right now. Apparently they're being considered for The Flash.
Yeah, I guess they're...
Not the TV show.
Not the TV show. The movie, which will star Ezra Miller.
Yeah.
They're writing the treatment for it, not necessarily the full screenplay, but they're writing the treatment, like they're helping develop it. They were previously, I guess, considered to have directed already. They're being courted to direct it, which is fine. I'm not against it.
No, not at all.
You know, they're really hot right now. They're funny. I mean, they can do funny.
Yeah.
The 21 Jump Street movies have some action, you know?
Yeah, like it'll be interesting to see them actually doing something that's not completely humorous and more of like a superhero approach.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, I guess The Flash can be humorous as well.
Yeah.
Ezra Miller's kind of a silly guy as well. He's done comedy.
That's true. I guess the last thing we could talk about DC-wise, the Batman vs. Superman trailer.
Wait, what? That happened?
Yeah, it got leaked a few days ago, but then, you know...
And then they decided since it was leaked, oh, I guess we'll go ahead and give it to you.
Because it wasn't supposed to be out until Monday.
Yeah.
But I
was underwhelmed.
You were underwhelmed?
I was.
I don't know. I mean, I have my concerns still, but I think it was a pretty good trailer. You know, it got me amped up to see them two fight. You know.
Yeah. It was cool, but I honestly expected more out of it.
Really? Well, it's just a teaser.
Yeah, that's true. I guess they teased me enough. I'm ready to see something bigger.
Yeah.
There was some cool images in it. Like we got to see a cool thing of like them calling Superman a false god and stuff.
Statue.
Like the statue and the graffiti on it. And
yeah. Some shots of Ben Affleck as Batman.
We got to hear Ben Affleck's Batman voice.
Yeah, when I imagine when he has the big metal suit, and it's a pretty cool line. The "Tell me, do you bleed?
Yeah.
You will" thing. It was kind of cool. I'll admit. That was the part I think that got me the most excited.
Yeah, that was my favorite part.
They do a good job setting up some general plot, like the people being divided as far as what they think of Superman.
Yeah.
And you do get to hear a little bit of Lex Luthor's voice. Like he has one line in the trailer, in the voiceover, because there's a lot of like muddled, voiceover.
Yeah, there's a lot of voice in it.
I hear Holly Hunter's voice in there somewhere because I know she's involved in the cast, and then I heard Lex Luthor's.
Yeah.
And his was probably the better one. And possibly Alfred. It did sound a little.
Yeah, there was Alfred in there as well. I do remember hearing that.
My biggest complaint probably isn't the movie's fault, but there were a lot of things with Batman that felt Dark Knight-ish, like Christopher Nolan-ish, and maybe they're trying to keep that look and that feel, but like the part with him on the skyscraper, felt like one of those shots of Batman in the Dark Knight movies, and then even the VO of Alfred in there. I mean, I think the second and third movies of the Batman movies, especially the second one, Alfred's VO was a big part of the trailers. I don't know, whatever. It's probably
but the Nolan movies are still new. Like I guess I don't want to say new, but they're still fresh.
Yeah.
So maybe they're still trying to keep the same tone and then like slowly go off of that or something, just so people aren't too like, oh well, this is what we had. Why is it like this now?
Right. I'm sure the next trailer we get will have a lot more action and have a lot more in there.
What everyone wants to see.
Exactly. Flashes of Wonder Woman or something.
Like, see Batman and Superman going at each other.
Yeah, but you know what trailer it couldn't top?
Star Wars.
Star Wars was fucking good.
The Star Wars trailer, like, oh man, I get chills just thinking about it.
Yeah, it was awesome. Like the music and the tone and the look and the feel, like
Luke narrating the beginning of it.
And who had him in his hand touching R2, you know?
Yeah, he had a robot hand and everything.
Yeah.
We got to see the crushed skull of Vader.
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
I think the intro of it was one of my favorite parts, where you get to see the Star Destroyer in the desert just crashed.
Awesome. That was awesome. But the biggest takeaway for me was Han Solo and Chewie.
Han and Chewie at the end.
Chewie at the end.
We're home, Chewie.
Yeah, that was. That was it. Like
that's awesome.
Chills thinking about it, but.
Just everything about that trailer was everything you wanted in Star Wars. Besides seeing Luke.
And
honestly, my favorite thing about it, I noticed it a lot watching this trailer, is like, if you go back and watch the prequel trilogy, like, think about them and how like CG they were and how fake they were, and then you watch this, like, you can tell like they built the sets, like, there's not really much fake about it at
There's
all.
a lot more. I mean, they're obviously going to have heavy chunks of CGI, but there were definitely.
But it was a lot more real.
A lot more practical effects. Than what
and like I was reading that Abrams actually, like, for explosions, he actually blew stuff up.
Yeah, which is awesome.
Like, they're actually holding real objects and for lightsabers and stuff like that.
Yeah, which is really nice because.
And that's a really good like throwback to the original ones.
Yeah.
That I really enjoy, and that's what gave the original trilogy like so much magic.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree.
Sorry, I got emotional there.
It's okay. Quick notes on X-Men. Lucas Till returning as Havoc.
Yeah. And we do have another cast as well.
We do.
One of the sexiest ladies out there, Olivia Munn.
As Psylocke.
She's gonna be Psylocke. Which
is okay. You know.
Yeah.
I would never have expected her to be in an X-Men movie, but I'm not against it.
No, I'm not against it.
I don't think she's the greatest actress, but I do think she's improving. I think I'm warming up to her, but she is very attractive, obviously.
And that's really all you need for Psylocke.
Fair enough.
I mean, she's not really the greatest X-Men character.
Yeah, I mean, she's no
She's better than Jubilee.
Transitioning to Marvel. Lots of interesting Marvel things.
So many spoilers coming at you, so if you don't want those, I mean, you can still watch it and turn it down on mute, so you get...
Yeah, and then come back to see our goodbye.
So you get some cool images and get to watch us talk, and you can just imagine what we're saying.
Yeah, but...
Or you can listen.
These are possible spoilers, and obviously none of this is even...
None of it's confirmed or anything, but...
it could be spoilers. So, first of all, Kevin Feige, Peter Parker, it will be Peter Parker moving forward in the Spider-Man movies. But it'll be teenage Peter Parker.
Well, Joe Quesada, the executive chief of Marvel, said the only way to get Spider-Man right is to make sure you get Peter Parker right first.
Which makes sense.
Which makes sense, because you don't want to see Miles Morales with all the Peter Parker mistakes that have been out there.
And I think that's kind of what Kevin Feige was kind of saying was that, you know, it's always been about Peter Parker. They need to get that stuff finished before they want to pass on. They said they like the idea of Miles Morales, but not now.
Yeah.
But they didn't seem to know anything about casting yet, though.
Yeah, but Spider-Man's already going to be an established superhero.
Yeah, no origin story.
No origin story. They're just going to throw him in there.
But he'll still be young.
Which I like, because you can think, well, do I want to go with the Tobey Maguire origin that they gave me, or do I want to go with the Andrew Garfield origin?
That's true.
You can. It's like a choose your own adventure story.
It's like a choose your own adventure story. Yeah, maybe we could pretend like this is the Spider-Man in between when. That we didn't get to see in the first Spider-Man, the Sam Raimi Spider-Man, where, you know, like before he graduated high school, we could just pretend.
Yeah, exactly.
But they also gave, and see, I'm going to need my sheet for this, they gave a lot of spoilery details about the Marvel Cinematic Universe, mostly about Civil War.
Yeah, like in Civil War, they said that we are going to have Winter Soldier, Falcon, Black Panther, Ant-Man,
Black Widow, Scarlet Witch, Hawkeye, Vision, War Machine, Iron Man, obviously, with the villains Baron Zemo and Crossbones.
There's a lot of characters.
But it makes sense that they're going to be because of the storyline. Although it makes me curious if it's actually going to be Captain America 3 Civil War, or is it going to be just Civil War?
What I've been reading lately is it's just going to be called Civil War.
Which if they're really loading it up,
if they're loading it up like that, it's really not a Captain America movie anymore.
I mean, maybe we can be following Captain America, but that's still a lot of characters.
Yeah, well, Captain America and Iron Man were the main characters in the Civil War, so But apparently, like if you've read the Civil War comics or anything like that, the New Warriors start off by chasing down a bad guy, blowing up a bus, and killing so many people.
Right.
And apparently in this, it's going to be Crossbones who starts off the Civil War doing that, and the government is like, okay, we need to do something about all this.
Which is kind of a good way to establish Crossbones being a villain now. If
Yeah,
that's how it's
exactly.
going to start off, like.
Because we got to see him a little in Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
But we didn't know he was Crossbones, but he still knew.
Yeah, you knew he was all disfigured at the end, so you knew that he was still alive and stuff.
Yeah, they said he's going to be wearing his skull mask.
Yeah, he's going to have some sort of suit. So it's kind of exciting. I think that's a really good way to start off.
It's going to be really cool. And we may be getting to see Ant-Man go into his giant man form.
Which would be crazy.
That'd be really cool because what I was reading about the Ant-Man movie as well, they're also going to be playing with making stuff bigger and stuff like that as well, besides them just shrinking.
Right.
Like making the ants big and stuff like that.
Which we...
And the Thomas the Tank Engine fight, as you get to see in the trailer.
The trailer was pretty fun, yeah. I'm surprised that they're using Giant Man in Civil War. Just because I almost expected them to save that for a big Avengers moment.
It kind of worries me as well, because, also more spoilers, in the comics there's another giant man who goes by the name of Goliath, who actually dies in battle.
Oh.
So I wonder, that scares me a little bit. Are they going to kill Paul Rudd off that quickly? Or
I doubt they do that. I bet they
maybe injure him in some way.
Yeah, maybe they might even ignore Goliath and the other character in general.
Well, I'm figuring maybe they'll just call him Giant Man.
Yeah.
And he just fills that spot that the Goliath character filled in the Civil War.
Yeah.
Because for a while they were saying Black Panther was going to be Spider-Man's character, but now they have Spider-Man.
Oh, but now they have Spider-Man. Yeah, they were saying that they weren't really sure how they were going to utilize Spider-Man quite yet. Hopefully he is just the way that he is in Civil War.
Yeah.
Because as cool as Black Panther would be, I would still rather see Spider-Man play the Spider-Man role.
Yeah, I would too.
The interesting thing about the lineup, to me, is that they keep talking about Scarlet Witch in these lineups and never mention Quicksilver. And a part of me worries that they're being really obvious that Quicksilver does not make it after Avengers Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a bummer because I obviously would not have expected them to kill him off or anything that early. But I'm starting to be concerned that they're kind of giving it away.
Unless something else happens. But that's the same thing I've been feeling are they going to kill Quicksilver? And they're... Because I feel like they wouldn't give it away that easily if they were. And they've really been dropping hints.
Yeah. They also say that Scarlet Witch could be in costume, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
It'd be neat to see
that would be really cool.
How they do that on screen.
And they said that we won't be seeing Evangeline Lilly become Wasp in the Ant-Man movie.
But we might see.
But we will be seeing her as Wasp
at some point.
I'm assuming maybe that'll happen in Civil War as well, since they're doing all these other reveals during Civil War.
That's true, or it could just be an interesting plot point for Ant-Man 2.
Yeah, or one of the Avengers movies.
Although Ant-Man was never named in the lineups for Avengers, but
they only named the lineup for the first.
That's
movie,
true.
Not the second.
True. That's a good point. We also got some details on Doctor Strange. His costume will be
it's going to be a big throwback to the Doctor Strange costume.
Yeah, the more traditional, which is exciting, and I'm sure they'll modernize it, or they always change things up a little bit. But but it's still nice to know that he's going to have the red cape and everything. Yeah,
and they announced the villains for Doctor Strange as well.
Right.
Which is the Demon Dormammu and
Baron Mundo.
Yeah.
Which that one I think had been rumored before. We had mentioned that he was a possibility, but now they're kind of confirming it. And then the Dormammu could be leading the mindless ones.
Yeah, which would be really cool. They'll be cool to see as well.
Yeah.
And Doctor Strange is going to be taking place interdimensionally and stuff like that.
A lot of action can happen between dimensions and...
Yeah, and they said it'll be very Inception-like visually.
Yeah, which is pretty cool.
It's something we haven't seen in a Marvel movie yet.
Yeah.
It'd be really new.
I agree.
And I like that.
Yeah, and it's nice here that they have all these plans in place because it means they have a lot of things that they're working towards and they're planning and building
and one thing I think that they're doing smart is the whole magic side of the Marvel Universe is something we haven't seen yet.
Yeah.
And they're going to be easing into that with Scarlet Witch and the Avengers.
That's true.
And then Doctor Strange just be throwing that all out there at us.
Exactly.
So it's really smart of them to ease us into that.
I agree. I agree, as opposed to just oh hey, this exists, you know.
Yeah, and I like that we're getting to see some characters before we actually see them in their movies, such as Black Panther.
That's true. Yeah, it's kind of the same thing with after in the Avengers, the aliens were thrown into the world and gods, and that they had a lot of repercussions on what we saw in the futures. Like they built devices because Thor was showed up, and then the alien invasion on New York apparently had an impact on a lot of stuff. Like even in Daredevil, they mentioned it a lot.
Yeah.
It had an impact on the world and the Marvel Universe. So it's just kind of. So I imagine the whole magic and stuff will be treated similarly. It's going to open up a lot of stuff.
I think that'll open up a huge effect for Iron Fist.
Yeah.
Because he's kind of he's a ninja and stuff, but he's kind of enchanted.
Yeah. I don't know, a lot of cool things. Civil War's gonna be much bigger than I realized.
Yeah.
Which gets me excited because they're gonna have to top Civil War with the Avengers Infinity War movie. So
so a lot of exciting things are happening.
A lot of things, a lot of changes, and on both ends. DC is being very ambitious, but I'm still excited to see what they do. I'm not on. I think overall I probably prefer Marvel, but I'm not on this big front where I'm hating on DC movies.
No, totally not. I'm more of a Marvel fanboy than DC.
Yeah.
But I still love going and enjoying Batman flick.
I'm in comic and comic movies fanboy in general, so I'm just excited that we're getting both worlds on.
Yeah, even ones that aren't in those worlds, I still enjoy.
Yeah, exactly. So
like Secret Service was a fun comic book movie.
Right. It's definitely it's a great time for.
It's a great time for nerds in general.
Yeah, to be a nerd, like it really is, especially for. Yeah. So that was a lot of information, and I'm sure we'll have even more next time.
Yeah, so thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it.
And goodbye.